Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd take a look at the workshop, part 14 now. Wow, 14. 14th time doing a video like this. It's pretty cool. I might change the way I name these things though. It might just be according to date moving forward rather than keep on having increased part numbers. But I got 5 different things to look at today. I've got 4 on the ground here and one's out in space. The first one is the SAS Reviva by Red Baron, and this is currently on the workshop, I believe, in the spotlight. I got 2 creations actually from the spotlight this week. So I thought I'd take a good look at this ship, see what it's all about. Also on this particular episode, I'm in Reforged Eden and not Vanilla because the overall majority of creations are for Reforged Eden that are being shown today. This is the first one here. It looks like a nice, well-rounded ship, actually. I like the looks and the styles of it. A lot of different shaping going on here, plus color accents, which I definitely like too. It's kind of like, yeah, nice use of that. I was just taking a look at its weapon placements and things like that. Looks like we have turrets in quite a few locations, able to provide general protection, I would say, around most of the ship here, if not all the ship. And plus your basic function. So, okay. Looking nice, looking nice. The layout, although, I mean, the ship itself looks a lot different, the layout reminds me a little bit of some of the ships I might have done in the past, too. I like the use of space up here on the top for a landing pad. It's neat, you know, sometimes when you can go through and put in, you know, block detail and things up here, but it also kind of, on a practical sense, wastes space because, you know, every ship has a ceiling and you can put stuff on that ceiling if it's flat. But you can make things typically look a little neater if you just put in blocks. But no, that's a thing I do. I do this very often. Put in landing pads in places. Anyway, let's get in this one here, and I'm gonna do the light thing here. See what it looks like. Looks like we've got a nice use of lights throughout here, and yeah, very nice and stylized. I like how everything looks like it has its home. Stuff integrated into the walls, even like the armor repair over here is kind of set up with its own little housing. Same thing over here with the armor locker and the O2, and the storage is nicely put in the walls here. So we'll take a look at the storage and specs in a minute here. Looks like a couple advanced constructors. I'm trying to ignore that door opening up. I get the same problem with sensors all the time too. It's probably something being in God mode that triggers these things even more severely. Alright, so ammunition controller. A lot of use of colors in here. Kind of dig, again, how like the generator is also placed in here. The layout looks very normal. Like I can walk in this ship and understand it and not get lost, I bet. Now, I haven't been through the whole ship yet, but let's take a look down some of these hallways here. Okay, so we got some engineering areas over on the side over here, as well as some thrusters, and looks like some cargo extensions on the one side. Gravity generator. Let's go down the hallway here. This looks really neat. I like the use of the kind of like the curved archways around the hallway, combined with the 45s on the floor line. It does kind of give you that spacey look. You see in a lot of sci-fi movies, walking through hallways and things like that. So on the other side, looks like we got some O2. Looks like there's a light here that's not triggering, or a couple lights here that aren't triggering when I came in here. It could be something to, again, me being in God mode right now, touring around. Looks like we've got our shield, protect, fuel tanks, and more stuff off to the side over here. Let's take a look. Let's go straight through here a minute, see where we end up at. So way up here, oh, okay, so it looks like we got a medical room with all our medical equipment all nice and put in here. On the other side, looks like a crew area, a couple beds and that kind of thing, and of course you got to have your bathroom and shower, or shower and toilet. All right, so let's go up another floor here a minute. Oh, we got our bridge, couple extra seats. Yeah, no, actually the layout seems very normalized. And then across, going the other direction, we have a farm that kind of overlooks the hangar. Yeah, looks like it's well laid out. Looks like it would be a good usable ship in game, for, you know, I'd say starter to mid-range gameplay type of things, or possibly even to end game, depending on, you know, what you're doing. See what this is all about here. So here, I'll start at CPU. So CPU, it looks like it's a tier 1 in Reforged Eden. It's using 758,000 CPU. That's going to be kind of nice. You got a lot of leeway to add a lot more things to the ship, should you choose to do that, which is a great way to go, actually, so you can kind of add a lot to it. I didn't even notice the ceiling here on the first time through too much either. Ceiling's very detailed, a lot of stuff going on there, but it's, you know, it's functional detail because it's not just for looks. It's holding a lot of critical parts, such as the generators up there, and looks like we got some O2 as well, and some CPU core blocks here too. So I didn't see anything specifically in the ship about upgrading it. And what exactly would you upgrade? I'm not sure, because it does seem to have like most of your base stuff. But, you know, this would be a good one. You know, if you get further into the game with this, you can start modding it, adding in maybe something else you might want more weaponry, maybe a radar. Maybe it already has a long-range radar. I have not even looked. Anyway, let's look at some other stats here too. So build time is 9 hours and 13 minutes. It does use a little bit of estrium and zirconium, but not a lot. A fair amount of neo. Sathium is low, so I gotta assume, and I'll check out the hull material here, I gotta assume that it's not combat steel. Otherwise you'd see a lot higher Sathium count. Okay, so this is a Steelhole Chip. Take a look at the specs one more time here, and our general speeds, looks like it has quite a lot of lift thrust on it, which is quite needed, because I believe it has a decent amount of storage on it as well. Strafing would be the lowest stat, which makes a lot of sense. Forward would be the biggest stat besides lift. So, alright, so let's see here. What do we got for storage? So ammunition controller, we got 80k ammo. Controller, looks like two 320k controllers. Okay, so I thought I might have had a little bit more than that, but that's, you know, it's well rounded. Looking at the CPU that the ship needs, it fits quite well. It's a stylish looking ship. So yeah, definitely a very cool creation there. And this is by Red Baron, and of course, with all the creations I show here, there'll be a Steam Workshop link in the YouTube post here. So let's take a look at the next one in the line here. Let me put away that. And the next one is the Soul Crusher 6000 by Mavado. And that is this biggin over here. Now this is a Reforged Eden only ship. Obviously does not comply to weapon limits, and has a very specific purpose in life, and that is to be a soul crusher. I'll put it this way, just first glance at this, you can tell it's made of Xeno. You can tell it has an extraordinary amount of weapons on it, and I would not want to run into this in space. This thing looks like you would just chew up whatever it comes across pretty pretty nicely, I bet. Wow, yeah, this is huge. This thing has got. We'll have to look at the weapon counts on this thing, but that's a lot of guns. Man, I thought I was going overboard with like the Bahamut and the Phalanx siege tank. This thing just laughs at that. Oh, you thought like 39 or 40 turrets was enough? Yeah. Yeah, look at all that. Well, the shaping is generally decent too, but it's really designed to get an awful lot of turrets down here with a good firing position. So I'm looking around at like where all these turrets are, and like this one can shoot over the one in front, this shoots over that, et cetera, all the way back here, where it's probably putting its best turrets in the back of the ship. And there is, my goodness, you know, besides just all the launchers down there, it's got a huge amount of artillery guns too. So I can assume this one's going to be pricey, and it's going to need a lot of quantum or auxiliary cores, I'm sure. But this is a endgame, like, fight the worst of the worst kind of things with this ship. So it's, and it looks like it would be effective. It certainly does. So hopping in here, yeah, it looks like we got a good open hangar space too. I was a little surprised that with this combat stuff, it looks like you can carry around quite a few vehicles and ships and stuff with you as well. And nice big information panel too, which is great. Well, I don't even have to look at the stats here. 63 quantum or auxiliary cores. Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. But again, this is a very specific ship designed to take on the worst of the worst in Reforged Eden. And by the looks of it, I bet you it's pretty successful at that. 100. Okay, so 63 quantum cores, 122 turrets, all upgradable to heavy, 139 total. 19 manual fired fixed weapons, 21 total. 6 advanced generators, 14 advanced thrusters. Yeah, upgrade guidance. Yeah, awesome to have information in for players not knowing, you know, what's up and how everything's going to work out. I'll fly through the hull of this ship too. I'm pretty sure it's pretty tight, especially on the front. Then we have our production over here too, right above the hangar. It's kind of a neat idea, kind of like making a mid-floor in there, like a little mezzanine around here to put all that equipment. That works out quite well. Looks like it's pretty close and easy to get to from the hangar up either one of these elevators here. And then we've got this radiation zone. That's neat how that's portrayed in here. Cute. So it looks like there's a part that could go here too. I'm sure if I read the sign, it would probably say something about that. So let's see what we've got. Here I'm going to just hit F4 a minute and we'll take a look at its storage controllers and whatnot. So one ammo controller at 320, another at 320, another at 320, another at 320, holy crap, another at 320. Well, you know, this thing carries an amazing amount of weaponry on it, so having a lot of ammo that you could put in, 5 320K controllers for that is pretty nice. Beyond that, looks like we have some regular cargo controllers as well, a couple 320s there. And then some miscellaneous other boxes or things that can hold items in them throughout the ship. So, all right. So let's go up the elevator a little bit more. So, on general layout, you come in through the back, as far as I know so far. But looks like we got some pretty neat doorways that were put in here. That's kind of a slick idea, actually. I like that. These can get pretty big, so that will come all the way down to the ground, so you don't have to go in through the hangar door. You can also probably hit a ramp on this side, and I bet you another one on the other side. Nope, that's a more of an asymmetrical thing. So just on this side, which is cool. Nice alternative way to get into the ship. So let's see. So we go up to here. And let's continue up this elevator. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the lighting thing here too. A lot of times, especially, these ships are going to be in space an awful lot, usually. So you're going to typically see them on what they're going to look like at night, basically. So we're seeing a lot of different colors and things like that, and some neat little deco things across the ceiling. It adds a lot of detail. I mean, this could have just been a flat ceiling, but that would have been not near as exciting or as neat looking as what's going on here for sure. And we also have a farm too, so it looks like 18 grow plots there, and then we have a core room, and I expect this has a lot of cores in it, as we already know. So, wow. All right, so let's take a look at what's up inside the ship here. I'll go back to lighting here in a second. So when you see nothing like what I'm seeing, you know that there's pretty much solid blocks here. And it looks like we've got a decoy generator up front here, and then we have a lift thruster kind of in the middle there. But it's a lot of stuff in front of that even. Maybe possible for this to get destroyed in a really prolonged battle, but the amount of guns on this thing, I can't imagine the battles would be very prolonged to take this much utter damage. But then again, there's some really creepy things. Wow, creepy. There's some really dangerous things in the game too. I know. So I don't know. All I got to say is I don't think I would feel scared at all in this ship against literally anything I would come across in space. So yeah, huge amount of armor up front. Plus, it also has interior space and good solid function for regular gameplay and being able to move your vehicles around and grow some food and build some things and everything you'd probably need to do for carrying out a good playthrough, especially for the end game. So spec-wise, this one's got a pretty long build time, as I would expect, and I bet you it's gonna, it uses a lot of estrium and zirconium, and of course, this is for all the cores and whatnot. It's gonna use quite a bit of that too. I expected a fair amount of sathium. Well, this is xeno material, so it's gonna need a lot of that too. But exactly what it says it is and what it is. It's a very hardcore endgame combat ship. So very cool, very cool. Looks like it'd be very, very effective. One last thing I just wanted to see on how this thing moves. Yeah, so we're looking at some pretty good numbers here, for sure. So yeah, it's no slouch either. So despite being quite large, it has plenty of thrust to get off the ground and move pretty darn good in all directions here. So I don't know, awesome work. This is there's two main styles of ships that I've seen for the hardcore endgame combat. This is one of the two types. This would be more of a it's well laid out, so the front is set up to take a lot of damage. You put usually cheaper turrets up here, or decoys, things like that, or a combination of both. And then the back of the ship, it's just a heavy pounding area that would probably take little damage, unless the fight was crazy. And it looks like the survivability would be really good on it too. So. Yeah, also awesome work. For what it's designed for, looks like the design would be quite effective. The other alternative design that I've seen, I'm going to try to show a ship like that next week, is the kind of the inverse, but also an effective combat ship where you use high speed and maneuverability to take down big ships without taking hits yourself, or very little hits. So there's two ways to go about it. This one I would say is more of like get in your face and shoot it down, really quickly. Very, very similar to some of the, well, nothing on this scale, but some of the combat ships I tried to do in the past too. Just I haven't made any anywhere near this this psycho. Awesome work though. Awesome work. Oh, next one. We lost power. No! Hold on. So the next ship here, and actually maybe I misquoted this a little bit. This one I believe is not for Reforged Eden, or is it? This is the Creel Enforcer by JTKeGaming. Of course, it's Kriel. I gotta show some Kriel stuff, you know. It's just there's something about showing some Kriel that just must be done. So this, I think, was intended to be maybe a bit of a hybrid mix. It could be possibly a ship that you would fight against as an AI ship, but it also very much could be a player ship. All depends how you want to do it here. Let's do the outdoor lighting thing here too. I want to see how the texture lights are coming out here in a nighttime scenario. Yeah, no, looks cool. I like the amount of texture lights in there where it's not trying to like overdo it, but there's enough to be noticeable. Kind of a cool looking pattern over here too that really shines well at night or in space. Interesting to look at this all. Well, here, let's get back. It's probably really dark for you guys especially, so I'll keep the lighting better. So this looks like it's quite targeted for combat. I would say actually that this one would be, well, two different scenarios. One, you tilt the ship down a little bit when you're attacking, so all these turrets can kind of shoot over the ones in front of it. Or in this case, it looks like it would be a pretty good broadside ship. In other words, you could, you know, if I was the bad guy sitting over here, there's a lot of turrets that could shoot me. On either side. So those two methods there, I think, would probably be the most logical on how this was set up to behave. So let's go in here a minute, and I'm gonna again, and on the inside here, I'm gonna go back to night lighting here. A little bit dark. Let's get to a bit of a mix there. Okay, so you walk in through some blast doors. Oh, we got a pilot seat like way in the back of the ship over here. And we got our core over here, it looks like. Some storage, medical equipment, constructor. So it looks like kind of like a small production area out here, kind of very close to where you would pilot the ship at too, which is convenient for, you know, if you're busy doing this and all of a sudden you start hearing something shooting at you, it's a quick jaunt over to start piloting the ship and take action against whatever. So inside of here, it looks like we've got a core room, different CPU blocks, and also some cargo extensions in here. And our main core. Oh, this is Wi-Fi. Duh. I misinterpreted that for a core. My bad. Core's in here. And we'll go through this room a little bit. Flying through the hall a little bit on this one just to see how things. Well, looks like it would be pretty defended though. So we've got fuel over to the sides through the glass chambers here, which would, in case that explodes, it would mitigate the damage so it doesn't, like, you know, chain react and blow up the rest of the ship or critical parts of the ship. Generator over here. Just a little bit on the generator. The proximity to the hallway is not far enough, basically. So the only way you can really keep a player safe from like the 350 degrees Celsius and the radiation is to have a full block between you and the generator. From literally all sides of it that a human could get to or a player could get to. But, you know, I don't suspect that you'd probably have to come up here often. We'll see what's up here. So it looks like we've got a lot of so we got our detector here. Looks like another Wi-Fi closer to the front. Our pentaxid tank. We got some equipment up top here too. Warp core. And then into some thrusters over there. So let's see, and then this is that main hallway again. Let's keep on going forward here. Okay, so that just kind of ends right here, I believe. Oh, I like the little shutter door access to the generator in case you want to do internal repairs. And of course our shield is in here. I have a controller extension here. So let's take a look at the storage and the specs on it. The storage first. So we got an ammo controller of 320, another ammo controller of 320, and a cargo controller of 320. And then, okay, so then a repair station. Looks like it would have adequate ammo storage, plus, you know, constructor, some constructor storage and things. Production storage, I would say. Other specs on here. So yeah, okay. So this is a Reforged Eden as well. Looks like it's slightly over CPU, but literally it's such a minute number in the grand scheme of things when you're dealing with in the millions and you got 70,000 over that. It's remaining, according to the stats here, 100% efficiency. Let's take a look at that. Comes out, yeah, it says the same thing over here as well. So being that over a little bit doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. It doesn't seem to try to lessen the stats on this one at all, which is great. That's kind of neat. You can get over a little bit, and that's not a lot, but you know, it's still a little bit. But it looks like it really is making no difference whatsoever. Speed wise, looks like it's got pretty decent lift. It's got really good forward motion. Reverse, backing up, not a lot. Strafing's okay. Yeah, to be expected. But anyway, very cool ship. I like the thruster units on the back here. Kind of the this whole formation around those thrusters and whatnot. That is pretty cool. And nice little nice looking side profile here with all the thin blocks, making these fins with another row of blocks on the inside to accent it even further. It's a pretty cool look to it. But I would definitely say this is kind of you know, it's a general player usage ship. Would do quite well with like flying around with broadside attacks. If the nose was tilted down, would also be able to fire forward pretty good and put a lot of firepower on the target. So awesome work, JTKeGaming. I had to show this because, well, it's you and it's Kriel, so hey, what can I say? Alright, so the next one is not for Reforged Eden, and this is the Raw Pyramid Starship. And this is by Hootsman and Stargate Raw Cheops class starship. So I do remember the original Stargate movie. I think it had like Kurt Russell in it, and I remember that they did have a starship pyramid like this. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm a little vague, but I do remember that it did. I believe resemble something like this. So basically a pyramid design with some noticeable cut-ins on the frame of the pyramid, which actually I think look really cool because it's matching like this angle here straight up the side, but then it like chops into it and makes these indentions in here, which is it's a cool it makes a really cool looking formation. Definitely makes something that's you know, a pyramid, you know, a fairly simple design into something that looks a lot more sophisticated and complex, I would say. So let's take a look at the bottom of this one too. Now this one was pretty big. I had trouble like putting it on the platform down here. But oh yeah, look at the bottom of this thing. So it's got a lower mount hangar door that comes in, or a double hangar door. That's neat. That's neat. So that's your big hangar access door, and the one up here is quite a bit smaller, but it's still not tiny or anything. It's just it is definitely smaller. So we will get in the ship. So the big hangar door would meet up right there, and you just got this big open hangar space, as well as 4 bay doors, one on each direction, to pull in probably say SVs. But seeing the angle down here, okay, probably SVs. I mean, with some acrobatics, you could someone might be able to get a HV to creep up the side here, but it's probably for SVs. It's cool though. I like how these big pillars in the middle are done. They look like they would be structurally viable where they are, and kind of nicely detailed. And I like the open space too, so you can just kind of someone could come out in the corner here and do their thing for a while, hop in a ship, fly around, or whatnot. Let's do the lighting thing here a sec. And yeah, that's neat. So it's kind of a darker tone generally. You do have some interior lights in here, but then you get a lot of accent from the texture lights that are going all along the outer reaches of the hangar, which gives it a really neat look. Again, pretty high-tech look and whatnot here. So, all right. So now, how do I navigate? And I would assume upward. So these are not elevators here, but looks like they are in all 4 corners, so that's pretty easy to do. Let's hop up a floor. Oh yeah, and the catwalks I barely even noticed from down there. That's cool. You got this whole like subframe catwalks set up going all the way around the upper area of the hangar, which looks like it gets into a central elevator. Or maybe not central. 4 central elevators. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think, oh, you know, I'm mistaken these. I didn't even see the elevator in the middle of these columns. So yeah, you don't need to go to those outer ones. You can go right up the columns. That's pretty slick. Okay, so we're at 1. And look at this. We got a definitely distinctive change in looks here. I'll go back to lights. Yeah. Again, you know, this is based off from a ship in the Stargate. I believe the original movie. It might have been in some of the TV series, but I largely have not seen them, so I couldn't say for sure. Checking this out. Oh, got a farm section over here. That's done a little bit differently. So the farm plots are all elevated over here. A couple stairs to get to them to harvest them. And so this hallway would go right around. So we got our fuel pipeline. So it looks like, yeah, a massive fuel area, which is very cool with oxygen in there. Like the piping all over the place. That kind of dials in the look you would expect to see in a room like this. And then it looks like we've got some sealed generators in the corners, or at least that corner. Yeah, this one too. Very nice, very nice. And we also got some cargo boxes in here too. So what do we got here? Okay, well, this better. We got medical. Oh, this is nicely done. Got all our medical stuff, medical staff. I know someone would freak out over this scene here, but I'm not going to say anything at all. But anyway, if you were to perish, and you and like three of your friends at the same time, you could all not have to fight over where you get brought back to life at. All right, so fuel pipeline over here as well. I don't know if I made a full loop or not. And this was the farm. Okay, so what's on the inside over here? Ooh, so we got a atmosphere change over here again. That's neat. You know, that is one thing. Like the lower hangar here has this dark gray and texture light scheme to it, and different shades of gray and things like that. You get up into here, and it introduces an awful lot of this yellowish texture and a different styling. But then you walk into this room again, and it's got a different looking theme again. Almost a little Krielish, which is pretty slick. I'm prejudiced. Okay, what can I say? So we got our warp core in here, and looks like about most of the big parts in taxi tank and some boxes, things like that. All right, let's see. Can we let's go up another floor here. So floor 2. Oh, this thing's really big. So L. So lounge, I'm guessing. Looks like a lounge to me. And all right. Shields running at maximum efficiency. Looks like we've got more engineering style parts in this section. Couple gravity generators in here. And I'm curious. I got to look under the wall here. Oh, okay. Look at that. We got a shield. I think I was supposed to see that from the top. So let's go up another one here. Oh. 3. Okay, so that's the top of the elevator. Ooh, this looks really snazzy. Again, like how the use of the texture lights in the formation along the ceilings and stuff like that. You know, quite a lot of detail in there, and use of some different colors and stuff. Looks good together. It's a nice color combination. And up here, it looks like this is where everybody hangs out at. And we got a teleporter, and we have a pilot seat right here. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't actually see a pilot seat elsewhere. Is there one? Is there just the one? Kind of looks that way. So that's interesting. So you can just pilot the ship kind of like in the middle of this area where everybody could hang out at here, teleport into, whatnot. Let's see what's in the middle here. Our main core. And then this pretty cool looking glass way down to the shield that we've seen by looking through the walls below. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think this is the top of the creation of usable space, or space that was set up to go to at least. So, but it does look like there's a pretty good cushion, even if this were to get a lot of shots taken to it. It would kind of shield the interior area that you would be at. Anyway, very cool creation. Definitely like it. Nice aesthetics to it and everything like that. Awesome work. Awesome work. So the next one, let me get back over here. So I believe we've looked at all those, and we're going to fly up to space right now. The next one I wanted to show, and this is a different kind of creation, and this is by Vermillion himself. If I can find it. I did have it spawn, darn it. Of course. Oh, and I got some of my own junk out here too, so that's going to make it all the harder to find anything. All right, I'll just respawn it here. Give me 1 second here. Let's start it with the, there we are. This is a space station construction set, and I thought it was a really cool idea. At one point in time, I did start working on something with a similar idea. I just never completed it. I feel a little bad about that now too. I might have to address that topic in the future again here sometime when I can free up on some of these other projects that are going on. But essentially what this is all about and this had been a lot of work, for sure. But this is about where you take all these different parts into creative mode and whatnot, and you use these parts that are meant to fit together, allowing you to create your own structure out of the larger pieces to build like great big space stations. But you could just build infinite number of different layout stations with all the parts here. And that is pretty slick. There's just a lot over here to go through, and a lot of these parts, like these hallway pieces. Oh, look at this elevator, please. So this would be in like an elevator to set you up to go from like up to down. So you can have like a vertical station, you could have a horizontal station, combination of both. And then all these individual areas here are set up with like hallways inside them, so you can literally loop those all around. Now, primarily, I don't believe this was set up to be like a player base, but this is in fact to build like POIs, I believe, with this set. Some cool looking, other aesthetics you could add to it too, like these. This looks fantastic here. Yeah, it's a cool use of color schemes and everything like that. And I've been noticing, like on top of each of these parts too, it tells you some information about it, what it should be used for when you're constructing something out of this. Now, if you're new to Empyrion and you don't know how to use these kind of parts in creative mode to build something larger with it, just do a quick example on that, and I'm hitting N on the keyboard, and I'm going to I first wanted to see if there was any preset parts in the list here, and I don't yet know if that actually carries through from a workshop creation. But what you can do is, like, say I wanted to build something out of these this particular part here for now. What I'm doing is I'll go to selection. When you do that, you can touch on something. You can, when you see the boxes like this, this allows you to scale your selection box. And the whole point of what we want to do with any one of these parts is to draw or basically expand a selection box to fully encompass that part, but try to be as close as possible. In other words, don't go over by blocks, because if you paste that, it'll remove blocks that might be next to it, I guess you could say here. When you do this too, you hit N and you can move this around, but to change your view you have to hit N again so you can change your position so you can see everything. And that's its biggest thing. And then of course, like I want to make sure that I'm selecting the whole thing, so I'll look at this angle and bring the box out further. And then once you get a box around it, you hit N again and you can go to copy. And then what we could do, there's two different ways to do this. Now, the right way, I'll show you the right way. Okay, so this is a construction set, and this is how you would select a box. Now, we haven't quite copied it yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw down a base starter, because this is a base type of creation. I'm going to put a starter block out of the way over here somewhere, like right over here. So once we've done that, what I'm going to now do is I'm going to take the piece I want to build, like take all these parts, and we'll build something new out of these parts. So we'll take this first box here that I got selected right now, and for the benefit of, say I want to use this part more than one time, what I would probably do actually is to, let's see, it's been a little while since I did this. Save to list. Okay, so I'll hit this button. After I got this part selected, I'll hit save to list. I'll give it a name. We'll say curved hallway. I'll put a 1 by it in case there's other alternative versions that it looks like there is. So now you can see that even when we're flying around here, the game engine itself tells you this is now curved hallway. So what I want to do is I want to copy this part now. So here, let me get into it again. So I'm hitting N again on the keyboard, and we'll hit this, and I'll say set selection. It's been a little bit since I did this again. Why is it looking weird to me? Probably because I'm being stupid. Set selection to BP part. Okay. Okay, so since I added this in a list, and I could do this with a whole bunch more, since I only have one creation in there, it doesn't show you, but if I had more, you'd see more of these, and then you highlight it, and then you set selection to BP part. Okay, so now it's got a box around it, so what I'm going to do is hit copy, and if I'm going to paste this on an entirely new creation, after I hit copy, I will also hit remove selection. So basically, you copied these blocks into memory, and now I'm going to remove selection. Okay, so it's not there anymore. So now I'm going to go down to where I put that base starter block. Okay, new base starter block. And then I'm going to hit N on the keyboard again, and I'm going to just touch on this somewhere, basically saying this is the selection now. And then when I hit paste, it will take in that part, and I'll get out of N by. So now we've got this part attached to this new core, which is a new creation. Now I can take this around and I can say, let's put it over here. If you click on the center here, you can change its specs. Like when you see the first one here, you're allowed to just move this in any of the directions. If you click on it a second time, it allows you to scale it. Now, the scaling doesn't do anything when you're pasting a part like this, so it's not going to make this stretch out or be at a bigger size or smaller size. So it's really, you don't need to use scale in this when pasting a part. And then the last option is rotate. Now rotate does work. So I could literally take this part that was made here. I could say, hey, let's rotate it like this. Let's put it over here, and then I will hit paste. Now keep in mind, you can see that the colors went stupid too. I'll tell you how to fix that in just a second here. But now what I'm going to do is we pasted that. So I'm going to move this box over again. I'm going to hit paste another time, which is going to kind of put this back in its original state. It's not pasted into the world yet. It's still movable. But when I hit paste another time after this, it will actually be able to paste this same part again. So what I'm doing is making a circle out of this. So we'll hit paste. And let me move my camera position here, and we'll just complete this loop here a second. You get the basic idea. So we'll hit paste, and we'll rotate this again, something like that. Paste. Okay, and for the last one, put the box over here. Paste, rotate, and paste again. Okay, so yeah, this would be you could run around in circles in this base. But anyway, okay, so the colors are all different from the other creation over here. Oh, there's where I spawned the original one. So that is the next part. So most of these creations this day and time uses custom color palettes, just like all my creations do as well, or have for a very long time now. So what you want to do to snag the color palette from here to make that work is basically go to the creation that you want the color palette from. Use it with the color tool. You hit your right mouse button. It brings up your standard menu here, but you want to go to configure on the color side of it. And typically what I do, there's a couple different ways to do this, but typically what I do, you can see that there's a green box around the upper left corner right now. Often I will just simply hold down the shift key and touch on the bottom right corner, which selects all the boxes in between, and you'll see the green box around every single one of them, and then you hit copy. And then at that point in time, you can just kind of exit out of here. I'll just hit OK, and we'll close this down. So now I'll go back to the newly made circle of hallways here, and if I right click on that again, bringing up the same thing, I will again go to configure just like I did on the other one. I will do the same step yet again. And I don't think you need to. I think I can just hit paste here at this point in time, and it works because it starts pasting all the colors at the box, and that box is in the same position. So if I hit paste here, it converted all the colors to match the original creation, and then basically this is the new creation. And keep in mind, considering that there is a huge set of parts over here, I used one set or one part and was able to make even this structure here. And I could make this at different angles as well. And by the looks of it, this hallway should totally work out walking throughout this entire thing. So that is slick. That's I mean, if you want to make things on a massive scale, this is really the way to go, because you could build one part and keep reusing it. You'll see that in most modern video games, how they do their world creating. If they had to make everything individual, it would take an enormous amount of time to build hardly any content at all. So this is it's a really good used method, and something like this too. If you were able to get in the inner coding of a program and come up with like a neat little algorithm to make put these parts together procedurally, you could literally, and I believe this is exactly what Star Citizen is doing, is it would make unique places that you could put all over your galaxy. It uses like these core parts and a procedure that it would follow to randomly place these parts to build different looking things, different layouts and stuff like that, and be able to just procedurally generate those and put them all over the place. Now, again, of course, too much of the same thing, it'll start to get kind of repetitive once you've been in one or two or three different bases that look generally the same way. It would get a little bit old, but the layouts would be different, the gameplay inside would be different, it could be drastically different. So yeah, it's a really cool concept, and I'm hoping, I would love for Empyrion itself to have the tech added into the game to take something like a set like this and actually be able to generate, when you're starting up a new game world, that it literally will generate procedurally created set creations, such like what this whole structure is about. So I just want to take a little time and show that. I think it's really, really cool. And Vermillion, obviously, one of the two authors behind Project Eden and Reforged Eden, well, especially Vermillion, I think he's more with the Reforged part of things. This is a great tool for him to use to add more content to the game in a relatively quick pattern. It might take a while to build this set, and I'm sure it did, but once you have it made, you can build kind of infinite number of creations from it quickly. I mean, I spent like, I bet you a half hour, 45 minutes copying and pasting these parts around, building this. I'd have this great big gigantic space station that was different than probably anyone else's space station doing the same thing, because it all depends what choices we make when we're putting it together. So anyway, that's all. That's pretty much all I've got for today. Tomorrow I'm planning on releasing the MX4. I want to do, after that, I'm going to be focused on the Persis until I can get, or the Persis CV3 build until I can get that complete. And I did lose power too for the last day and a half ish. So that kind of set me back. I do have the MX4. I did get a chance to bring it into vanilla and figure out the final specs and make it so it doesn't show up red anymore, and stuff like that. And I even took some screenshots. So I'm not that far off from getting it released right now. I mean, the ship itself is basically done. I don't particularly like the the translation between vanilla and Reforged Eden on some of how the number and CPU comes out. Like for instance, I want it to it'll start as a tier 3. I realized that starting at a tier 2 was impossible, so it'll start as a tier 3. But in vanilla, well, in Reforged Eden, you could add in a couple extra cores, and you could pop in a shield and a bunch of, the guns and all that stuff, and you're fine. Vanilla, it requires you to bring it up to a tier 4 to fit the shield, because the shield in vanilla is very, very expensive and whatnot. Anyway, I'll quit rambling, and you all have yourself a good weekend. I will talk to you later.